Okay, hello everyone. Then this is a new lesson. Actually, this is a new video with a new unit. So last week when I finished finished the previous lesson or the video, I just stated, and that was unit number 6, and I stated that the unit number 7, that we can do this unit number 7 within one day. Right, here we are going to do this one. So unit number 7 and unit number 8, they are short lessons. So we can quickly finish them up. Therefore, I'll take around half an hour to complete this lesson. The lesson or the topic of the lesson is plant growth substances. Growth of plants. And growth is a basic characteristic of life. Growth. And growth means irreversible increase of size increasing. The size can be increased as the dry mass, increase of the dry mass. So plants, animals, or any kind of living being show this growth. And through this lesson we will discover, or we will search how those plant growth is controlled by them. Plants are some low-level organisms, not like animals. Animals are developed and they know, they can locomote or such things when talking about the animals. But plants can't locomote, and also plants are completely different from us. They don't have nervous system or a brain or any other complex systems. So how do they control their growth, right? And also, the next question is, can plants feel like us? Feeling that we can see, we can hear. Also, that we can respond to them. If somebody call you, you can just see that side. If a light comes, you can see the light likewise. But what about the plants? Can they react, or can they first can they receive the stimuli, and also can they react or the response against them? So we will find answers for all these questions through this lesson. And I am starting this lesson with a small activity given in the textbook. I'll show it from the textbook itself. So if you see this now, you can see the activity. This is given in the uh, textbook. Textbook, and 1 minute, please. So look at this. Uh, Take in a potted plant. You also can easily repeat this one. Take in a potted plant and invert in this potted plant, or just not inverting actually, just filling this or keeping it horizontal. So what we observe here, the plant stem bend and grow upwards, right? Have you ever seen a plant grow the horizontal or across? No, they always grow vertically upwards, and also grow against the gravity. If gravity is the ground side, and they are growing against the gravity. Sometimes you might have seen some plants growing towards the sun or towards the light. And if you can see the roots, normally we can't see the roots as they are covered by the soil. If we can see the root system of plants, we can see that roots are spreading towards the source of water. Actually, how can they feel that there is light in that side, or that there is water in this side, or how can they feel that there is gravity under the gravity, or the earth's pull? And also, if they can feel them, how do they respond against those? Let's see this. Then move on to the next part. There are several activities or the kind of simple experiments given in the textbook, and I will show them as this. Right. First experiment with these pictures, I will show it. Here, I think you can see this. So there are two plants, and they are the kind of young plants, right? And we must take two similar young plants here. Then we should cut its coleoptile, and that means the apex part, right? I will show you the apex of this. Wait, we must cut the upper part, means this section. So that is the experiment, and let's go to the next step of this experiment, cutting this and removing it. Okay, cutting and removing one, but we will keep that coleoptile part, or the apex part, apex of the plant, without cutting in the second one. Then what is the observation? You can see the plant which was kept as it is growing here, but the plant which we remove the apex is not growing. So from this one we can conclude one thing. Our conclusion is there is a substance secreted by the top of this plant, a substance secreted by the top of the plant, and that substance causes the plant to grow. When we remove this here, when we remove that part, then the plant, then that substance doesn't secrete. Therefore, the growth doesn't take place. So scientists did some more experiments on this. Finally, they found the substance which is secreting from this apex part. The substance secreted by apex part is a chemical. Now people call these chemicals as hormones. Hormones. Hormone is an organic chemical which stimulate the growth. Stimulate the growth. So these growth responses come because of that. Once we cut and remove the apex, the response doesn't come. So there are different types of hormones. We can talk about that hormones. I'll show you another experiment. Look, see this one also. After this experiment, I'll talk about the different types of hormones further. Look at the second experiment. Two plants now keeping nearby the sunlight. In one plant we have already removed the apex, other one as the normal, or it looks like the same. So we expect the plant to show a change. You can see the plant with the apex bending towards the sunlight. It's growing and bending, grow and bend. So again our conclusion is proven. There are substances affecting on the plant growth. Due to that substances, the plants are bending towards the sun, or towards the gravity, or away from gravity, or away from the sun, or likewise. So these are the growth responses, and growth responses are controlled by growth substances. And the basic fact about growth substance is now it's very clear. These growth substances are of two types. Some substances promote the growth. Some substances promote growth. And some substances demote the growth. Demote. Growth promoting substances are called growth promoters. Growth promoters. Promoters. T-E-R-S. Promoters. Growth demoting substances are called growth inhibitors. Inhibitors. So hormones are two types, as promoters and inhibitors. But in your textbook or in your syllabus, we are talking only about the growth promoters. About three growth promoters. We will discuss about three growth promoters here, and here are the growth promoters, and I am taking this from the textbook again. You can see plant growth substances. Some growth substances promote the growth, and some growth substances inhibit the growth of a plant. Right? They are the chemical compounds which regulate the growth of a plant, and they are known as the plant growth substances. So what are the growth substances that we need to study? It's auxins, gibberellins, and cytokinins. All these ones are growth promoters. So what are the growth inhibitors? There are two growth inhibitors. One is ethylene hormone, and abscisic acid. Abscisic acid. Natural growth promoters. Ethylene is one of growth inhibitors. And these inhibitors, ethylene is one of famous inhibitor. You know, ethylene is artificially used to ripe the fruits. When ethylene is spray over the fruit stop growth and it start ripening. පළතුරු ඉදෙන්න ගන්නවා මේක ethylene. So the artificially also we can use them. We can talk about the artificial substances hereafter. Now you know the types of growth substances, and now I am going to show you how this growth promoter is secreted by the apex and how does it act. Actually remember this, when a stimuli come, it secrete at one site but act in another site. That is kind of nature of hormones. Hormones are secreting at one place but acting in different place. Right. Okay, let's talk about the way that they are acting. I will show you a video. So stay connected till I load the video. 1 minute, please. Right. Here's the video. Then you can see the video. I will show you when you watch this animation. Then you can understand how the hormones are secreted and how they act. Main thing, just focus. Where do they start to secrete, and also the place where they act. And while the video is playing, I'll explain it in the background. And let's see this. So let's play this. So now you can see the plant grow, and growth promoters will be secreted at the apex. Now you can see the IAA or Indole acetic acid, or this is the auxin. Chemical name of auxin is the IAA. You can see the description under this, and see how the auxins are secreted and also the way that they act. And when light falls, or when due to the growth, the hormone or the auxin secreted at this place, auxins, then when light falls on this one, that hormones will transfer into the opposite side. Carefully see this, how hormones traveling into the other side. So hormones are moving into that side. Thereafter the cells in that side start elongating or increase the length is gradually increasing of those cells. The length can be length gets increasing. Here you can see the elongated cells in one side. Therefore the plant bend towards it. I think you got an idea about the way that the hormones acting. So plants are bending towards that direction because of the hormones. And there's a simple experiment. This is what we did. And although the light falls from this side, there's no response. It is because the hormones are not secreting in this case. There is another activity. Look at this experiment. This is another nice one. Closing the apex, and when apex is closed, the plant is not sensitive to light. So the sensitive part is the apex. Now it's very clear through these simple experiments. And one more, this time we cover the lower part, but still plant is blending. Now it is really, it's confirmed now, because by covering the lower part, we can't change the bending of the plant, because the hormones are secreted from the apex. That is why the plant's bending into this side, and also we can see hormones are secreted in one side but acting in another side, right? Likewise, it will continue. There is another simple thing. The mica piece has kept to prevent the transfer of hormones from apex to the growth site. No, it doesn't prevent, because it is the same side, no? Therefore it's bent towards the light. If you keep it to the opposite side, so the third experiment, keeping the mica piece in the opposite side, look at this, and you know that elongation take place in the opposite side. Light comes, but the plant doesn't bend, as the hormones not transfer. So through these simple experiments, we can confirm this. The hormones, or the chemicals, I mean the chemical substances, the plant grown substances, are secreted from the apex, but they are acting in a different place, right? Then we had kind of a nice introduction. Actually, this is a full description about the hormones. Hormones are organic chemicals which promote or demote the growth. Promote, if they are promoting growth, we call them growth promoters. If they are inhibit the growth, we call them inhibitors, growth inhibitors. And next task is talking about different hormones in details. We need to talk about three growth substances, and those are the auxins, gibberellins, and cytokinins. Let me explain that. So we can discuss the functions of them like this: auxins, gibberellins, gibberellins, and cytokinins. Think it is kinins. All these three hormones are growth promoters, but they promote the growth in different ways, right? They have their unique functions, separate functions. Next task is to talk about this one. You have to turn to your turn the textbook also. Now take your textbook and turn to this page. While you are looking at the small, giving a small glance to the textbook, just let's carry on the lesson. So this is the textbook, and this is the note, and I'm going to summarize these things. If you want, you can just underline the parts that I say with a pencil. Please pause your video for a minute and then take a pencil and take the textbook, and also prepare to listen the next half, or the next part of the lesson. Right, let's talk about the auxins now, and I'm saying here the kind of summary, or the summarized points about the hormone. So the first one, the auxins, right? So take the textbook and keep it with you. Check whether these points you can find these points in that one. Number one, auxins. One function of them is the cell elongation. Elongation of cell, increase in the length of the cells. Cell elongation. If you can find it, just underline that. Second one, uh, all the cells are produced from kind of simple cell called the stem cells or the germinal cells. These germinal cells will be adapted to different types of cells later. Just like epithelial cells, xylem cells, phloem cells, later on they develop. They become complex cells. So that is called the cell differentiation. Differentiation. So cell differentiation is the second function of the auxins. If you can find, just find and underline that. If not, keep it in your mind. And about the, when talking about the uh, root initiation, I mean when a plant grow, new roots appear from it. New roots appearance will be promoted by the auxins, these auxins. So the root initiation is the next function. Root initiation, starting the growth of hormones, growth of the roots. And the last one, auxins cause the fruit to ripe. If it is a fruit, the ripening of fruit, ripening of fruit start with it, right? Ripening of fruit starts when the fruits become ripen, and I mean the auxins is the hormone mainly effect on this. Likewise, once we take about these things, this is the summary of the auxin, the functions of the auxin hormone: cell elongation, cell differentiation, root initiation, and ripening of fruits. Let's move on to the second one, that is gibberellins. Gibberellins, and turn to the relevant page now. Find that in the textbook. Gibberellins, functions of the gibberellin. Again, the stem elongation can be promoted by the gibberellins. Stem elongation means increase in the height of the stem. Elongation. Elongation of the stem. Increase in the height of the stem is promoted by the gibberellins. Next one, development of the fruits. In the previous, the auxins, we talk about the growth of, the ripening of fruit. The new fruits appear, or the appearance of new fruits is promoted by the gibberellins. Development of fruits or fruiting will be promoted by gibberellins. Only two things here, stem elongation and the stimulation of the fruiting or the occurrence of fruits. Cytokinin, the third one, cytokinin. I think the spelling's mistake is there. K-I-N-I-N-E, cytokinin. Let's see the functions of cytokinin. Now turn to the relevant page and see that. Number one, they accelerate the cell division. It's I'm searching that whether it is given here. Yeah, in one place you can find it. Now you are in page number 85, I think. So yes, page number 85. No, yeah. It's about the cytokinin. Accelerate the cell division. It's given in the textbook. And the next one, that means the stem growth or the cell growth or this stem growth will be accelerated by this, accelerate it. And the next one is they stimulate the seed germination. Seeds, once they buried under the soil, new plant appear or the new plant grow because of the cell, because of the seeds germinating, because they are germinating here. Therefore, seed germination is another thing promoted by the cytokinin. And the last one, last thing, usually anyone, not only the people, the plants and all others, the age, their lifespan the stops or the lifespan is limited. Therefore, one day they stop the growth. Therefore, plant will become age. This aging can be delayed by the cytokinin. Cytokinin can delay the aging, or early falling of fruits or early falling of leaves can be prevented by the cytokinin early falling. Therefore, before a plant get mature, it will not let to age. Therefore, it maintain the whole maturation through the cytokinin. Cytokinin's functions are those things. Okay, then they are just like kind of magic substances, because the substance control the whole process. The substance, it controls the whole process. That's why we call it kind of magical thing. If it is so, and through that experiments also we found that when we prevent the flow of hormones, growth also delays. Or when we when we cut off the falling of light over that, the secretion of hormones stop. So the intelligent scientists, they thought, if we can control the hormones, that means we can control the plants also. If plants are not, if fruits are not ripening, by spraying the hormones, artificially, if you can spray the hormone, then the plant will, or the fruit will ripe early. Also, if the flowers are dropping early, I mean, before they mature into a fruit, if the young fruits are falling from a plant, if we can artificially secrete or the spray the cytokinin, we can delay it, delaying that. There is an acid called abscisic acid. Abscisic is the acid, it is a growth inhibitor. Abscisic acid let the fruit, or that is the one, detach the fruit from the plant. So if we can cut off the abscisic acid, we can keep the fruit until it become mature. Likewise, by controlling hormones, we can control the plant growth. This is the most important part of this lesson. And when talking about the auxins, we met a chemical name, IAA, Indole acetic acid. IAA, sorry. IAA, Indole acetic acid. This is the chemical name of auxin. Scientists have artificially made this IAA. That means using this hormone, we can control the cell elongation and ripening of fruit, and also the root initiation. And this is a practical activity of IAA. Normally, by the vegetative reproduction, or when we are planting a new plant, there is a usual or the very common way, that is taking a plant twig, cutting a plant twig and planting it in a pot or a kind of the packet, right? Stem cuttings. When we need to take a rose plant, we can take a twig from the rose twig and cut and grow in it. And most cases, these twigs get dry out. Rooting does not take place. Then what happens? We can change it. How? By applying IAA, abscisic acid. Root initiation can be promoted by applying this hormone. When that hormone externally applied, then the roots will appear soon, right? Then we can, before, after it is rooting in the plant, it happens. Once we root it, the roots appear quickly. Therefore, we can use the IAA or this auxin hormone usefully. Now, again, I think you have the textbook with you. Turn to the next page. It is page number 786, I think. 86. Then I will show this in the screen, on the screen. This is the table given. Can you see? I will talk about the IAA first, indole acetic acid. It is an artificial hormone to induce root formation of stem cuttings to grow fruits quickly. That's what I discussed. IAA, indole acetic acid, IBA, indole butyric acid, both perform the same function. And 2,4-DPA and 2,4,5-TPA, their chemical names are 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. And TPA means 2,4,5-trichlorophenoxyacetic acid. They are organic substances. They can be used as for the weedicides because the plants will grow very fast and mature early, right? We can use them for broadleaf weedicides for the paddy fields. And naphthalene acetic acid to prevent premature fruit drop or to induce the flowering of the pineapple in the off seasons. We can get the fruit flowers, or we can produce flowers early or in the off seasons in pineapples by spraying this chemical. And cytocell get mango fruits in the off season. Now the mango fruits we can see in the market in each and every time because of the cytocell hormone. Now here there are only 4 or 5 artificial hormones, but the agriculturists and all the scientists, they have made more than 100 different types of artificial hormones to control the plant and animal growth. And for animals also, this type of hormones are used. You know that especially when making the meat, that chicken, right? Those hormones are just inject to them to promote the fast growth. So within 2.5 months or 3 months, the the cocks or hens, they become the natural or the normal size because of hormones. Hormones can be used for the plants or animals. Hormones are secreted at one place but acting in another place. They are organic chemicals, and I think number of times I repeated that section. And I said at the beginning of the lesson, I said this is a short video about half an hour. I think I spent more than half an hour, around 35 minutes for this. And all the important points were highlighted here. I will upload the list of questions also with this. So watch the video. You have already watched that video. Now write the answers for the questions and get ready for the usual Zoom lesson, which is holding at the usual time tomorrow. Not tomorrow. I think next Thursday. So I just upload it Wednesday. That's why I said it. Thursday lesson will be an interesting one as you have studied a simple lesson. Right. This is the end of the lesson and the video. So goodbye everybody and have a nice week.